This episode of Lady Gang is brought to you by Starbucks Tripleshot, the extra strength coffee beverage in a can. What gives you energy? Find your Starbucks Tripleshot Energy online or at your local store. Welcome to the Lady Gang. You're about to listen to our podcast, but there is so much more our community has to offer. Follow us at the Lady Gang, join our secret Facebook group, shop our clothing line, books, and find out when we're going to be in your city at theladygang.com. We're so excited you're here. Enjoy the show.
Well, what is this?
Welcome to the Lady Gang.
That's amazing. Say that again.
The Lady Gang.
Things are about to change around here.
Each week, we catch up with Hollywood's hottest girl posse, Kelty Knight, Becca Tobin, and Jack Vanek.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Lady Gang. I'm Becca Tobin here with Jack Vanek and Kelty Knight.
Hello. That's all I'm going to say is just whoa.
Whoa, guys.
Wow.
We have
I'm so shook, and I know that I saw in the Facebook group that a lot of girls are like, I'm just so busy right now getting back into my life. Like, I listen to Good Week, Bad Week, and then I don't really get into the guest. And I'm like, okay,
this is the guest.
You got to stick around today, people, because I just had my mind blown. I'm not even okay, and it wasn't even me that had my mind blown.
not even.
You can just fast forward through the Good Week, Bad Week, to be honest.
Yeah, it was pretty incredible. So Theresa, the Long Island medium that we all know her as, I mean, she's been on TV for what, like 20 years?
Ever.
Yeah. She is amazing. She's also just like beyond her gift, is such a lovely human.
So sweet.
So sweet.
Mm-hmm. I was such a fan of her before, and now wow. Everybody don't fast forward through this and get to her.
Yeah. You don't need to listen to this.
Don't listen to this, but just in case, it's time for
Good Week.
Yes, it is.
Bad Week. Oh, no.
I'll start. So I got this new puppy, Barbara.
We love Barbara.
Barbara's a real
name can come from. Like, I was sitting in the office and Chelsea's like, Barbara? She's like, it's just so far from Orly. Like,
no,
Barbara.
No, it's two Jewish ladies.
But I didn't know Orly was like a person
name. It's a Jewish name.
No, Orly is a person name. I've met 4 women named Orly.
What?
It is a very common Hebrew name. So Orly's a human name, and Barbara's obviously a human name. Mm-hmm. And I know a lot of old Jewish ladies.
Have you been calling her Barb?
Babs.
I'm calling her Babs. I already decided. Like, Babs, I send.
So cute.
We mostly call her Babs. I had a script supervisor on Glee, and her name was Babs, and her name is Babs, and she's just like one of my favorite people on the planet. I mean, I didn't name my dog after her, but I needed anybody that I knew with the name of Babs to be cool, and she's cool. So 2 little Jewish dogs. Jewish old ladies. So I got Babs, and she's been really good. She's mixed with a poodle, so she's smart as and they're really relatively easy to train and potty train and all that stuff. So I was like, God, I feel really lucky that it's been a breeze. And so yesterday I got too casual with Babs. And I let her have a little bit of free reign while I was working, and I go and I'm like, you know what? She's been very quiet. I'm going to just go check on her. And I go in my bathroom, and she looks at me, and there's something hanging out of her mouth that's clear. I'm like, did she get into plastic wrap? Like, what is this? And I go and I yank it out of her mouth. It's my fucking Invisalign.
Oh, no.
The one that I wear like every night, because I'm done with my Invisalign, but the final tray is what I sleep in.
Yeah.
And it's destroyed. So I had to call the dentist, and it's $350 to get a new one.
And
made.
Also, if you don't wear it for a couple of nights, your teeth start to shift, and you might as well just start Invisalign over.
Exactly. And I asked the girl, I was like, how long does it usually take? She's like, oh, it can take up to like 10 days. I'm like, well, I'm going to need a whole new set of Invisalign trays. Like, that can't be right, Invisalign. If someone is asking for a replacement tray, like, could you expedite it? I just think that's so stupid.
This happened with Jared's too, because with my night guard, I'll wash it in like an Efferdent, like a denture cleaner to clean it. And so when he got his Smile Direct Club, I was like, oh, wash it in Efferdent, but it ended up shrinking his Invisalign to like this big. And then but he was in the middle of it. So he's like, I need a new one. They're like, it's going to be 2 weeks. I'm like, they've got to get a better process.
Yeah.
You don't have to start over.
I need them to get it together.
This is some
30s shit right now.
This is some 30s shit. Okay,
like my teeth are shifting.
Babs ate the Invisalign.
Babs ate my Invisalign. Okay, so here's my good week. I was shopping like on South Congress in Austin, which is like a really cute area, clothing and Mexican food and like all the delicious stuff. And I'm in a store and I look over and I'm like, that woman is wearing like the coolest outfit. She's just cool. And there are people who are cool in Austin, but she was like another level of cool. Mm-hmm. And I look and it's Leanne Ford. And I was like, Leanne? She goes, oh my God. And we were like, what are you doing here? What are you doing here? I said, I moved here. She goes, oh my God, I forgot that. And I was like, what are you doing here? And she's like, we come all the time and we visit friends and blah, blah, blah. And she's like, we're going out tonight to a honky tonk. Come with us. I wasn't able to go. It was devastating.
What was she wearing?
She was in like a really, kind of like a drop crotch pant.
Yes.
Like baggy. Mm-hmm. She had on like I think it was like a cool Birkenstock, not your typical, like it was like a puffy,
a fashion Birkenstock.
She always looks so good.
She had on like, it looked like a painter's shirt, but she wasn't in work clothes, but it all kind of looked like, in a bandana. She's just fucking cool.
She's so cool.
Cool. But I'm excited because she comes here all the time and we're going to become best friends and hang out.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah. So
did you like when you said hi to her, were you like, it's Becca? Because I feel like she wouldn't recognize if that happened to me.
Well, I don't think we had masks on. So I took my mask down and I go, it's Becca. And she's like, hi. But we also like DM a lot on Instagram before this.
Yes.
So it was kind of like, and she referenced something about me doing something that I had just posted about. So I felt confident that she did know who I was. Cause don't you worry. I was so paranoid that she was going to be like, hi, I don't know who you are.
Hi, do you want to take a picture, fan? And you'd be like, yes, I actually do.
Her husband was there too. He's a smoke show. Smoke show. They're just the coolest people. So yeah, that's my new best friends. What's up with you guys this week?
I'll go. So my good week is a DM that I got. And the DM says, hey, Jack, longtime LadyGang listener. I was listening to the episode Tuesday and want to let you know that I'm pregnant and my girl name is Jacqueline Lorraine Leonard. I love the name, love Jack for short, and even my picky ass husband likes it. We aren't finding out if it's a girl, so you can have one on Kelty if it is. I'll let you know this November. So we've got a potential Jack baby coming.
Oh, shit.
Okay, let me know when you have two.
I feel like maybe if it's a boy, she should still just name it Jack so I can get the win. But yeah, we have a, potential
maybe Jack
coming in the world in November. My bad week is I was driving the other day and I had an itch inside of my nose. So I go to start itching it with my fingernail and literally it happened. The hottest guy that I've ever seen in the world.
This isn't even the first time this has happened to you. I'm upset.
Rolled up right next to me. Has this happened to me before?
Yes. Yeah.
No.
And you have such long nails that you're really digging.
No, I was really like doing a good itch, but it's literally that Seinfeld episode.
You're
that
picking
I'm like,
your nose.
I was like, I'm not picking my nose. I swear to God. I swear.
I'm going to make an observation right now, Jack.
What?
So this is for Jerry, because you guys are probably going to share a life together.
Yes.
So you talk about guys being hot a lot.
Oh, yeah,
and all the time you notice guys are hot. I just want to say you're the equivalent to my friends' husbands who point out, like, look at that girl's tits in front of their wife. Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, look at that guy's height.
So listen, do you, whatever's good for your relationship, but I think we should have a level playing field here with men and women.
Yeah,
you don't want to be the husband who's like, check out that girl's tits. Okay.
You're not wrong, but like, it just lives within me. Like I love a hot guy,
but you can say it differently. Like Zach doesn't refer to women as hot or smoke shows or whatever. I mean, I just called Leanne Ford's husband a smoke show.
We're the worst. Yeah.
But I'm a total hypocrite, but he'll say
Leanne
things.
Ford's sexual husband.
Sexual. He'll say things like, oh, he won't, I mean, unprompted, he won't really comment on a woman's looks, but like if he's forced to, I'll be like, do you think she's pretty? I'll be like, yeah, she's really pretty. Like you're allowed to say he's handsome or he's good looking, but your aggressive hot guy is
hot
a lot. And I think I need to speak up for Jerry right now.
You know what? I appreciate that because he doesn't ever really say anything about it, but I know he's probably inside of his soul is dying a little bit every time I say that. So
yeah.
Note taken.
Good.
Thanks.
Just here to fix everyone's relationships.
Thank you so much, therapist.
Fix it up. Well, everyone, I'm so excited to announce my good week, which is I was inspired by the internet for a new category of Bujo page that I had never thought of before. It's the new trend in bullet journaling, which is the journaling that I do. A lot of people are like, what are you talking about the Bujo? If you don't know, now you know.
It's really just taking a blank notebook
and making pages
and filling it
but guess
with things
Becca,
you could buy at Target already
Becca,
printed.
You're gonna love this. The page is called the Rage page. And it's just a page of all the things that you're f***ing mad about anytime. You just write down like people who don't wait in line properly, people who do self-checkout but have never used the machine before.
Just very specific.
Whatever. The things you're mad at. You know what I mean?
Well, I just want to say my therapist used to make me do this, like get it all out on paper, but it's unhealthy to keep it. You're supposed to burn it. So I don't think it's good to have it living in your Bujo forever. I think you have to get it out and release it and then burn it.
I know. And then, I feel like that can't be good.
There's a lot of negativity in there.
Then you just keep putting more, and then you look at the things that bugged you before that you probably forgot about that you're going to still be mad about. And it's like this like cycle that doesn't end and just compounds on itself.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
I had a revelation about Bujos, actually. I was in Target and I was like, I haven't Bujoed since I was trapped in Vancouver. And I was like, I just need to be able to like see my schedule in front of me. Like I just need to be able to see it. And so I go and I buy a calendar, a desk calendar.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there and I'm filling it out and I'm like, why do people Bujo? It's literally just this, but it's already done for me. Like I was sitting in Vancouver creating a desk calendar with rulers and colored pencils. And I'm sitting here. I'm like, I have my life back. I can just buy a desk calendar.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I like doing it because I'm like quite creative, but like, I don't, that's probably why they have the bought pages like that you can just pick up for yourself.
Well, if you haven't turned this off already, I wasn't the one who took it to the boring place. Becca and her Bujo monologue were the ones that have bored you. I was giving you something exciting like rage.
Okay. What's your bad week?
My bad week is this. So I recently returned from We Care, which Becca and I had gone to last year. It's like a cleanse that you go on. I did 3 days and, because as you guys know, I had been on a really unhealthy track and I kind of needed a reset. And so I've been back on the health track. And if you've been listening to the podcast since the beginning, we're 6 years in, just know that every 3 months I'm either on a bad track or a good track and I go all in. Like there's no medium for me. But anyway, so, last time we went with Becca, I had a friend, I had support. And so we got like really obsessed with like checking off our drinks. Like, did we have our green juice? Did we have our carrot? Did we have our aloe? This time I didn't have a friend and I was like a little more lax about it. So I get the colonic and then she'd be like, don't forget to take your probiotic. And I was like, no problem. And then I go back to my room and like 6 hours later, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to take the probiotic. So I came home Monday after this. I have the rager of all yeast infections because I have sucked out all the bacteria in my gut. I feel fabulous. My skin is glowing. My vagina is on fire and I'm on my way to a trip, a sexual trip with my husband.
Wait,
so
do you still have a yeast infection? Because
I know. So, I mean, not to get in the gory details, but I tried to fix it myself by taking all the yeast pills and like doing that. And I like was 3 days in and I was like, you know what? The vagina's still itching. So I'm going to get a diflucan. And then now I'm waiting for it to clear out. But the thing about a yeast infection is that it lasts longer than you think. Even after the itching stop, it's still in there. So like, remember that time I had sex with a guy and I gave him the yeast infection on his penis and he thought that I gave him herpes?
Oh, yes. It's ringing your bell.
Did you not use my super great trick of the coconut oil and the tampon?
So I accidentally used all my coconut oil making the healthy granola to stay on my health track from Katie Weber's web thing. And I haven't got groceries because we're going on the trip. It's a nightmare up in this life. Anyway, when we come back, Theresa's here and she's fabulous.
Hello, you sexy ass ladies. This week's theme for Lady Secrets is lying. Now, lying can take the form of so many different things, but when I think about lying, I think about, the traditional catfish. Have you catfished somebody before? Have you been catfished and fell in love with somebody that turned out to be a grandpa? I don't know. Have you stolen somebody's identity? Or this is what I think about lying too, is like a Hilaria Baldwin. Have you started with this like little white lie and then it spiraled out of control? Like maybe you have been lying to your husband for the past 15 years. So now is the time to cleanse your soul. Write us in your lady secrets about lying. You can go to theladysecrets.com. Write us anonymously. We can't track you at all. Or you can call 1-844-SEXY-LADY. That's 1-844-SXY-LADY. Spill your f***ing guts.
No one loves Starbucks more than this girl, which is why I'm excited to talk to you guys about the Starbucks Tripleshot Energy. It's extra strength coffee beverage in a can. That's right, in a can, so convenient. It's the Starbucks coffee you love, ready to drink. They have classic flavors and now, very exciting, 0 sugar flavors. So it's vanilla dark roast, cafe mocha, and caramel. And then the 2 0 sugar flavors are black and vanilla. Again, it's 0 sugar and dairy free. So it's extra strength or 225 milligrams of caffeine for you to just get through your day, run your errands, play with the kids, go to the gym, whatever it is that you need your energy for. You got to reach for your Starbucks Tripleshot Energy. I keep them in the fridge. I grab them when I need them. I just love them so much. And what gives you energy? Find your Starbucks Tripleshot Energy online or at your local store. Happy drinking, because guess what? It's been a year, guys, and we need caffeine more than ever.
LadyGang is sponsored by BetterHelp Online Therapy. We talk about on the LadyGang so much, going to therapy, how important it is, how it can change your life. And a lot of people have a hard time finding a therapist, admitting that they need help. And that's what makes BetterHelp so easy. You just go online. They have this sort of quiz that you fill out talking about how you're feeling, who you are, where you are, if you're taking any medications, whatever that is. And they're going to match you up with a great therapist for you. What I love is that there's so many easy ways to do the therapy. You can secure a weekly video call, a phone call, or even live chat sessions. I do the video calls because I'm not wasting my time driving to an office to see my therapist. I just want to hop on Zoom essentially and have my meeting and then be done. It's easy and it's free to change counselors if you don't like your first counselor, but I think you really will. It's much more affordable than in-person therapy, starting at just $60 a session. So our listeners also get 10% off their first month of online therapy at betterhelp.com/LadyGang. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LadyGang. If you've been thinking, man, I really need to get into therapy, I know that I need it, I need an affordable and easy solution, BetterHelp can help. BetterHelp.com/LadyGang.
Summer is my absolute favorite season. I can't get enough of it. I feel like it's already drifting away with me, but I am making the most of it. And with summer finally here, enjoy it with Huzzah, a refreshing probiotic seltzer with benefits. So with added probiotics and 3 grams of sugar or less, Huzzah tastes like sunshine in a can, which I can get down with. And everything is more fun when you feel your best. That's why Huzzah adds probiotics to their seltzer to help support a healthy gut. It's tasty and exhilarating when chilled, but non-perishable, so you can store it at room temperature. So it's good for people like me that have a tiny apartment with no storage. Experience bold flavors that pair perfectly with a picnic or a backyard hang, all at just 3 grams of sugar or less per 12-ounce can to help you feel your best before diving into summer. They have some amazing flavors: raspberry and lemon, strawberry and hibiscus, or my favorite, juicy pear. It's crisp and bursting with flavor. So get your cooler ready and stock up on Huzzah probiotic seltzer by using code LADY for 20% off your order at drinkhuzzah.com. That's code LADY for 20% off at drinkhuzzah.com.
Now back to the Lady Gang.
Our guest today doesn't need an introduction, everyone, and she might know what I'm about to say before I say it. She's a New York Times bestselling author, reality show megastar, and the most famous medium in the world with a wait list of over 2 years. She's a podcaster with her show, Hey Spirit, and you can also see her live, like literally now. You can get tickets. She's in your city during the Platinum Experience. Today, she's here to tell us about the afterlife, show us our futures that are full of fame and fortune and beautiful skin. And she's also here, of course, to give us tips on fucking backcombing our hair for Jesus. Please welcome to the LadyGang, the iconic Theresa Caputo.
Oh my God. Thank you guys so much. I think that is the most amazing intro anyone has ever done.
Okay.
She's good at it.
You're incredible. I just want to set the stage. Becca, will you set the stage of where, because this is a podcast, but I feel like we need to know and understand what we are looking at this moment.
Okay. Well, right now, Theresa not only has the most epic, perfectly coiffed hair you've ever seen.
Perfect fucking Theresa right now.
Perfectly. And it's
Iconic.
freshly colored because he cannot see a root.
There's not
anywhere.
a root. Not
She is in her background looks like one of the ones that you can choose on Zoom where it's like, oh, today I want to look like a rich bitch, but it's real. It's the biggest closet I've ever seen in my life with like beautiful, clear, you know, you're rich when you have like the clear closet doors and all your clothes are put away, but you can still see them like in a boutique. That is what she's sitting in front of. It is. Oh, and just a casual Dior tote over her left shoulder.
I love casual Kristen Dior just on the floor.
It's placed like in the perfect spot that you just kind of see it.
The Christian Dior has its own chair. Look, that's a bench. The Christian Dior has its own chair.
There's also a staircase in this closet.
Okay,
Teresa,
you guys,
your closet is bigger than my apartment.
You need to look closer. You need to look closer because there's shit in here from Target, H&M. Like, I literally just came back from Alabama, and that was my travel bag that the tote that I use just to travel and tote all my stuff. So
we stand a high-low queen.
I'm a hot mess.
Yes.
I mean, literally, like there's still my shoes still in bags, like on the counter back there. So
I love it. It's epic.
And the roots are there. The roots are definitely there.
barely see.
Your hair literally looks perfect.
Yes.
I'm obsessed.
And what people don't realize, I still live next door to my parents. I live right next door to the house that I grew up in. So, I might have this mega closet, but I live in my home is very small, very modest. I love where I live. I lived on this block since I'm 5.
Wow.
So,
oh my God.
So for 49 years, I've lived on this block, and I wouldn't trade anything for the world to be still next door to my parents. So I say, talk about separation anxiety.
Yeah. I'm the same, trust me.
It's probably why you're so cool and so, I think, successful in Hollywood because you have not done the move to Beverly Hills. You have not done the, oh, wow, I'm a TV star. Everyone knows me. I'm iconic. Like, my shit doesn't stink. Like, you've stayed pretty grounded.
Honestly, I'm still floored when people are like, oh my God, I'm obsessed. I love your show. I'm like, you know who I am? Like, I still can't believe it because I never thought in a million years. I mean, I didn't wake up one day and say to my parents, oh, you know what? I think I'm going to talk to dead people for a living and I'm going to have a television show and I'm going to travel around on a tour bus, for half the year and channel dead people for thousands of people in theaters and arenas. I never thought in a million years I'd be where I am. And I still say it to this day. I'm just Theresa Caputo from Hicksville, and I have the amazing ability to give peace after the loss of a loved one, and that's it.
Oh, gosh. Do you think that your ability to talk to dead people is also, does that, I'm trying to word this the right way. Does that give you the perspective that allows you to stay so grounded? Like, what really matters, or like, cause most people would not be in your position and still be living in the house in the street they grew up in next to their grandparents.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we're all so up in that way. But we also can't talk to the dead.
Well, I think you're right. Maybe because of what I do, but I don't know any different. I always say to people, I was born this way. I don't know anything different. Right. And I've always sensed and felt things. I've always said things that were a little odd where people go, well, what do you mean? And no one ever made a big deal about it. And I was just very lucky to have an amazing family that always just supported the crazy things that I would say.
Yeah.
You know, and I used to say to my mom, like all the time, like, I don't feel right. I feel different than everyone else. I feel like I don't belong here. And my mom literally one day said to me, she's like, well, stop saying that because you're not adopted and there's no reason why you should feel that way. You know, you belong in this family. And one of the famous things that I always say when people say, what did your family think? It was the day that we buried my dad's mom, Nanny Brigandy. And I was talking to the Drapes and my cousin was like, who are you talking to? And I'm like, I'm talking to Nanny. And he's like, Nanny is dead and you're talking to the Drapes. You're a freak, and walked away from me. Like, he still tells this story. Wow. And, you know, it's just who I am.
Yeah. And is that like the first moment that you really felt that connection and that other people saw in your family?
I think it was over the years, but I think for me, when my grandmother died, it was really hard for me because I didn't know that I had this ability. I, first of all, believe that everyone has the gift, the ability to connect with their own departed loved ones, because that is a soul bond that can never and will never be broken. When we lose someone, it's just that physical connection. And that's really why I do what I do. I want people to know that the things that they sense and feel that they think that are weird or crazy, know that it's them. I say they're little hellos from heaven. And it's your loved one letting you know that they're with you at that exact moment. So for me, when I lost my nanny, I think it was that moment for me where I was like, wait a minute, she's dead, but I still hear her. I still feel her. And like, I remember freaking out at her funeral, at her wake, like screaming and trying to get her out of the casket. It was awful. I was 16 and I look back on that now and I know why, but it wasn't until I was almost 30 that I knew that I had this ability to connect with everyone's loved ones, not only my own loved ones.
Wow.
Do you go to therapy?
Oh, I do, but not for talking to the dead. I just go to confession and confess to the priest every week. Yeah, I still talk to dead people.
Well, no, I'm just wondering, like, I feel like your insides and your brain must be quite heavy.
Oh, but again, it's almost like people say, how do you turn it off, turn it on? I don't know how it works. So I think that's one of the things that gets me when people are like, oh, she does this, she does that. And I'm like, oh, I'm so glad you figured it out because I still don't know how this shit works. It just happens. Like I've said for years, like all of a sudden my brain will like, as I like give a speech, when I'm ready to work, like I feel like my brain just clears out of my own personal thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And then it just becomes the emotions of the soul that I'm channeling and the person that I'm reading. And I actually did it on Dr. Oz and on Long Island Medium, where this brain expert read my brain as I was reading someone. And he said, your brain, he goes, you're talking. He goes, when you were reading, he goes, not only do you access a part of your brain that we typically don't, he says, but when you were reading, it was like there was no activity in your brain, like my brain flatlined. He goes, but yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Well, also, I remember, so I told Theresa before we started recording, one of my childhood best friends worked as a producer on her show from like season 1. He's known her for a million years. And I remember asking him when he started, I said, is she the real deal? Because we all know that like reality television, sometimes it is and sometimes it's not. He said to me, he goes, Becca, it does not matter where we are. It doesn't matter if there's a camera. It does not matter if it's the most inopportune time. If something comes over her, like she's reading it and it is so fucking real. So I was like, well, I'm a believer because he would tell me if you're bullshitting.
Listen, you can't make this shit up. I don't know how. And, listen, I struggled with my gift for so many years, from the age of 28 until 33, because I was like, I am a Catholic. And so I struggled with that with my gift. And I was like, okay, now God has blessed me with this gift, but who's going to want to come and see a medium and talk to their relatives that have died? I could not understand that. But what I learned is that unfortunately, no matter who we lose or how they die, young or old, we here in the physical world are left with burdens and guilt. We're left with the should have, could have, would have, maybe an only if. And at the end of the day, all of these emotions do not give us the ability to heal. So I put my gift in God's hands and I said, if this is my soul's journey here in the physical world, I will walk through every door that you open for me. And here I am. And the turning point for me was 9/11. After 9/11 happened, I had a spiritual experience where I was told that there were so many souls that needed their loved ones to know that they were at peace. So, and here I am. I can't tell you how it works. What, I wish I could say to someone, oh, who do you want to summon today from the other side? It's just whatever I start to sense and feel. And look, I'm the first one to say that's crazy. That's common. Look, there are common ways people die, common burdens and guilt that we carry. But the thing that I ask Spirit to do is to bring up and talk about things that someone would not expect. Something that would be no way that I could find out or know about. So they bring up things that happened maybe years ago. They talk about things that happened after they died. They'll talk about things that how you feel, things that maybe you haven't shared with anyone else to validate that they hear you. And then the best thing is that personality, because it's like, you're the only one that knows your loved one's personality. And I love when Spirit and they're like, oh my God, that's exactly what my brother would do. Or that's exactly how my grandmother would say that. So
that's so wild. Okay. Dad, not to bring it back to me, but my dad had a near death experience. And, as my parents have gotten older, we've talked a lot about mortality, and he's always said to me, baby girl, you don't have to be afraid to die. It's wonderful. Yep. And I was
I just heard he was sent back. They sent him back.
Oh my God. So he was,
and I could see parents. So I don't know if they were his. So when I see when I sense a soul, if I see parents, it could be grandparents or parents that had to be that bond, and that they sent him back, and that he had this beautiful spiritual experience.
Yeah. He was it was so calm. It was so comfortable. I felt so safe. And so he's I've never been scared to die. And I was this, I always tell the story because it brings people so much.
Yes.
You think it's going to be this, oh my God, it's horrible, horrible. He's no, babe, we're good. And I was this is so crazy. So do you think the afterlife is scary? I think.
Oh, no,
what do you know about
not
that?
at all. I only know from what Spirit has shown me. And it is exactly that, peaceful. I might not always see what it exactly might look like, but they always make me feel what it's like. And you know how many times a soul will say, I suffered for years with a disability. And they'll say, if I knew it was this peaceful, I would have died years ago.
Oh my God.
But it really is amazing on how, and it's interesting. I just recorded, I just for an episode of Hey Spirit yesterday of a woman, and you literally could feel the weight being lifted from her. Yeah. As the reading was happening. In the beginning, she was so guarded and so afraid because she didn't know what to expect. She didn't even she knew who I was, but never really saw the show or knew anything about me. So she was so guarded. And then as things started to unfold through the messages, you could feel, and I think that's the thing that I love, whether it's watching the show or listening to the podcast, you can feel the healing begin. And it really is incredible.
So what do you say to a lot of our friends right now have little toddlers, right? And these little kids, and they'll see things, or they're talking to things, or whatever. Can you talk about that phenomenon and what we're supposed to say to the kids when they're oh, look, there's,
Well, show them pictures. That is the first thing that I tell people. Show them pictures of your loved ones that have died. Sometimes they'll make reference and they'll say, oh, I saw grandpa, and they never met grandpa before. Or they'll say, oh, your dad said that he loves you. And imaginary friends. Young children, it's very easy for them to sense the souls of the departed because their minds are clear. As adults, we're busy with burdens and the should have, could have, would have. Or you ever think when you think you see that shadow go by and you make up a million excuses? Oh, I was tired. Maybe something just flashed by, or the lights flickered. Well, maybe it was a little storm, or no, that's your loved ones. So it happened actually with my brother when my nephew was little. My brother called me up and he's like, Jason is seeing dead people and it's all your fault, and hung up. And I'm like, whoa, wait a minute. How is this my fault? And I said to him, show him a picture of Corinda's dad, because my sister-in-law's dad had passed. And he said that was the man that was in the pantry, was her father.
Wow.
So that's why I say, just embrace it. Don't make a big deal about it. They might outgrow it. They might not. But because for them, it's so comfortable. It's so natural. And show them pictures of people that have died. And I guarantee you, they'll say, oh, that was them. That is, when they look right by you, or they typically stare at corners in a room because they can see the soul.
Well, and I feel like familiarizing kids with that when they're younger, that can probably help set them up to not be as scared of death and not have all of these fears that we do as adults, because everything is kind of based on that. So
Exactly.
I love that.
And I think think about it. We're scared or afraid of the unknown, right? We don't know what it's going to be like. And some people even say to me, well, how do you know? And I'm like, listen, if there's nothing, then we're not going to know. Right. I'm like, so it's not going to make a difference. Cool. So let's just like embrace, something faithful, right? Or happy. And then if there is nothing, then we're not going to know anyway.
I love this. All right. When we come back, we have to talk about the oranges with Theresa.
Okay, who doesn't love instant gratification? If you're looking for satisfaction, there's no need to wait. With Credit Karma Money, you could win cash reimbursements for debit purchases. That's right. Credit Karma Money is a brand new checking account where you can win cash reimbursements just for making purchases. So you just pay with your debit card, and if you win, you'll be notified on the spot, and your instant Karma cash will be added back to your spend account. That's right. It's very exciting. They've already given away over $3 million in instant Karma to over 50,000 Credit Karma members and counting. So open your FDIC insured spend account for free. No minimum balance requirements, no overdraft fees, and free withdrawals from a network of over 50,000 ATMs. Right now, visit creditkarma.com/winmoney to open your free account and start winning instant Karma. Go to creditkarma.com/winmoney to sign up for free and start winning instant Karma. That's creditkarma.com/winmoney. Instant Karma is sponsored by Credit Karma. No purchase necessary. Exclusions and terms apply. See rules. Banking services provided by MVB Bank, Inc. Member FDIC. Maximum balance and transfer limits apply.
Well, this is truly the most convenient thing in the entire world, because I literally just finished an amazing Obey 10-minute arms workout, and now I'm reading an Obey Fitness ad, and I am freaking stoked. So Obey Fitness is a streaming platform offering daily live classes and more than 6,000 on-demand classes. They have everything, including sculpt, strength, HIIT, yoga, Pilates, bar, and so much more. And my favorite thing about Obey is you can filter by the length that you want to work out. Again, I only wanted to work my arms out for 10 minutes this morning because I'm a little bit lazy, and you can just customize every single thing. So if you want to check out Obey, it's the most fun that you're ever going to have working out. You can start your trial today at obeyfitness.com and use code LadyGang to get 1 month free. And the best part is Obey classes can be done anywhere, and they even have a travel hub collection of classes that require zero equipment. So there are no excuses. Again, go to obeyfitness.com and use code LadyGang to get 1 month free.
We love European Wax Center, and we loved our episode last week with our waxing expert who taught us all the things about what's going to happen when you get a wax and strawberry legs and butt acne and everything else. She was amazing. So if you haven't listened, make sure you listen to that episode. But European Wax Center is amazing. They're unapologetic. They make you feel so confident. They're so friendly. They have their special comfort wax, which makes waxing a breeze. And then they have all these amazing at-home products. I'm definitely using the ingrown hair serum right now to avoid getting ingrowns. Your first wax is free. You just go in and say, hey, it's time to have a wax, and it's free. So visit waxcenter.com to book your reservation today and check out their new line of products. Remember, your first wax is free. And once you go for that first wax, you're going to be kind of addicted. I mean, I'm at the point where I'm waxing my nipples and my toes now, so live your life. Waxcenter.com to book your first appointment free.
You're listening to the Lady Gang.
All right, we're back. Becca, the oranges.
Oh, God, this is so embarrassing. So Chelsea Handler recently wrote a book about her experience going to therapy and dealing with the loss of her brother when she was young, a tragic accident, and he died. And she started seeing this therapist or psychiatrist, and one day he just handed her an orange and was like, this was from my tree in the backyard. Here's an orange, hands it to her, and she starts sobbing. I don't know if you've heard this story. So then she recently had a podcast, and she had the writer of the book Signs on, and she made a reference to oranges being something that sometimes people who have passed like will show you if they're around or if they're present. And so I had a boyfriend pass away almost exactly 7 years ago, suddenly in his sleep. And I never felt connected. I felt like gone in the abyss. And I felt like there was never any of those moments where you could feel it. I was in our house and I never felt him. And so this was a couple years ago, and I'm driving to yoga and I'm listening to this podcast, and I was like, oh, fine. And so I was like, you know what, Matt, if you're still here, or if you're here, show me an orange today. And I pull into the yoga studio and I walk into the studio. I put my mat down and I sit down. And then I notice behind me, it's hot yoga, by the way. Like, people do not bring snacks into this studio. No. There's a guy behind me peeling a fucking orange.
Yeah.
And I was like,
you can't make that up.
No. And then it happened to me again in Vancouver. I was just up there for work and I was on a run and I passed a guy who looked exactly like
him. Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, where's the orange? Where's the orange? And there was a guy coming out of his front door throwing an orange peel into a planter on his front yard. Like, it's just that kind of stuff. It was so crazy. Is it because I finally knew? Was I asking something specific, or was I ready to see that?
I believe you were ready to see it. Mm-hmm. Secondly, I always tell everyone, don't ask, like, you can't say, I want to see 4 butterflies and 2 rainbows by Saturday, and I know it's going to be you. Yeah. A lot of times, signs and symbols are great when they come when we're least expecting it. Mm-hmm. But that might be what you needed to hear and what you were able to then connect with. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't necessarily, I mean, that is a crazy, amazing experience. So as you were telling the story, I saw my symbol for a Home Depot. That's my symbol for where we see someone that looks exactly like a person, and we just see them for that split second. And then when we get closer, it's like, wait a minute, that's not them. It doesn't even look like them. Right. I don't know how they're able to do it, but they're able to, like, put their souls into someone else to show us that they are with us.
Wow.
But you also connect with music with him too. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I just asked him to validate that. And he showed me the song on the radio that you hear for, like, you're not playing it on purpose. It's not a current top 40 hit. Randomly, you turn the radio on, change the channel, and it comes on. Mm-hmm. That's him. That's his soul. It's not that he's the song. It's his energy that gets you to do that. But do you also smell him or sense him, like, behind you? Or is it, I just felt like someone was standing behind me.
Oof. I mean, I'm wearing his sweatshirt right now.
Oh, shit. Did you do that on purpose?
Yeah.
Little stinker.
Yeah. I forgot that I had it. And then I was like, I'm going to do this because I feel like I have a hard time, like I said, just like finding him in those things or.
But that's the thing. I always say to people, don't look so hard.
Yeah.
Did you ever think that song was him when you were hearing the song? Were you ever like, oh, I feel you with me? Like, those are the moments where it's that feeling of whether he's standing behind you or just that knowing, whatever it is. The thing is, nobody can tell you how to feel. Nobody can tell you how to connect with them. So, but yeah, you told me that he died because I was just having difficulty breathing. So I couldn't take, like, a deep breath. So spirit will bring me through their departure. But didn't you had the dream of him?
I had a lot of dreams, like, right after he passed away. I had a lot of dreams with him. But then...
But let me just say that, see, I don't dream of my loved ones that have died. So don't take that for granted. I don't connect with my loved ones in that way. When spirit shows me the visitation, it's my symbol for that you had a spiritual experience where they showed themselves to you that they were okay. So I don't care if it's for a split second, but he was fine. He was smiling. That was a visitation of his soul to say, I am with you. I am at peace and I am not suffering. Mm-hmm. He just said there was no way that my passing could not have been prevented. Do you understand that? Mm-hmm. I also feel he's a little private because I could feel like he kind of blocked me a little bit, which is fine. I would just like to express that because, again, that's his personality. But then he's like quirky, like he's doing like this crazy dance. I'm like, what are you doing? Like, stop being silly. But do you connect with the number 17? I don't know if it's a 17th of a month, if it was an age, whether you met, or the month of January and the month of July, as far as birthdays or anniversaries.
My birthday's in January. He passed in July.
Okay. My job is just to make sure that I interpret everything correctly.
Okay.
I don't need to know specifics because what I've also learned from channeling spirit is that there are certain things that spirit might not want to talk about. They might not want to talk about the way that they died or how they died. And I say to people, and to me, I don't care. I'm not trying to be rude. At the end of the day, you lost someone that you have to continue your life here in the physical world without. And it stinks and it's not fair. So all we need is that peace. And that is it. But was there did you date him in school or something with school, or was there something done in honor or in memory of him? Because he showed me like releasing of balloons, and then I felt like I was at a school. So typically that's if something at the school they do in honor or in memory of them, whether it be a scholarship, a fund, a foundation. Sometimes we just think about doing those things and we never do it.
Yes.
Okay, to validate that his soul knows what was done, and more importantly, has attended it in spirit.
Okay.
Did you happen to randomly just talk to someone in his family?
Yeah.
Okay, validating his soul was present. No way I would know that. Correct?
No, no, you would not know that.
The school is crazy because didn't he throw you that big graduation party, Becca? Like right before he passed.
Yeah, he threw me like, it took me a long time to finish college because I was like working and going back. And so he threw me this like massive graduation party. I mean, I was like 26 at the time, and I wore like a graduation cap and like did the whole thing. And he flew my parents out. Like it was like a whole party. Yeah.
She's like, I have to do this.
Yeah.
When I was channeling him, did you feel something, whether it be like a breeze or like a warmth feeling or like a chill?
I mean, my whole body.
Okay. Know that that's his soul. Because what I do is I ask spirit to allow you to feel them in the exact moment. And it's something that you typically don't feel. Some people feel a warmth. Some people feel like a little goosebump. Some people will actually feel like a little brush, like a little kiss on their cheek. So he was showing me all of those things. So acknowledging that what you were feeling, knowing that that is him.
Wow.
Do you have a dog? Who is the dog?
I do have a dog.
Does your dog act odd for like no reason?
Sort of. And I got her like kind of right after he passed.
Okay. When oddness, know that she is responding or acknowledging his soul. Because the way young children are is the same way that animals are.
Oh, interesting. Wow. Thank you.
No, he did it, not me.
He's really stubborn. So I'm really proud of him.
He's so mad. Well, now I understand the blocking, but he goes, Theresa, you did not say not once how good looking I am. He goes, I cannot believe it. He goes, you didn't even talk about my hair. He goes, look how
awesome.
Like, I almost feel like how cool he is. He's got that sway.
Oh my God. You nailed it.
Oh my God. Okay. Oof. We have to wrap, but we could go on all day. Unfortunately, Theresa's wait list is 2 years plus long. So Becca, you can't get in for any more. This was incredible. And this is why we wanted to have you on. And we really wanted to tell everyone her podcast. I'm telling you, Hey Spirit, every Thursday, wherever you get your podcast, it's incredible. Like for all of you that are obsessed with the true crime, I'm going to need you to move away from true crime and onto Theresa, which is like happiness and like finding the answers. Like Jack's our true crime girl, and she's always like an unfinished business kind of crime. No, we're going to Theresa. Like, look at this warm feeling we have in our souls right now. Like more of this on Hey Spirit. And of course, you're already following her, but you can follow Theresa at Theresa Caputo on Instagram and everywhere else. You're amazing. This was
well, it was I really appreciate you guys having me on and sharing me with your listeners, because I know like even just from that little bit, someone will take something and maybe help them in their healing process. And that's the thing that I love, is just helping people.
Wow. You're incredible.
Thank you so much.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Okay. We have to say our funny, it doesn't feel right to say our funny ending now, but we'll just do it. We'll see.
See you next Tuesday. See you next Tuesday.
Thanks for listening. The Lady Gang is produced by Alex Ingber, Steve Delameter, and Jared Monaco. Make sure you subscribe, rate, and review our podcast. And if you love it, share it with your friends on social media. Like, oh my God, I just listened to Lady Gang. This episode's so great. Swipe up to listen. And if you really want to, which we know you do, please follow us on social at Kelty, at Becca, at Jack Vanek, and at The Lady Gang. Sign up for our newsletter at theladygang.com and join our secret Facebook group. It's super fun. See you next Tuesday.